Can you see the little thing? Just don't want to see it. Ask me when the last time I smoked weed was.
When was the last time you smoked weed?
363 days ago.
Shy of a year.
Just shy of a year.
How's it been?
It's been clear. Yeah, so a year ago tomorrow, it's the last day, got high before I went to bed. And then a year ago, in 2 days, it was the first day I was sober. It was the birth of this Dorky Sarah. No Nitty Sarah.
So you're going to celebrate it?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to make a film. I'll go to a meeting. I could do that. Go to an AA meeting.
Yeah? What, NA meeting?
NA?
Yeah, Narcotics Anonymous.
Narcotics Anonymous.
Yeah? Or an AA one. They always
Yeah,
celebrate with chips.
My wisdom tooth just came out, and so my mouth feels a bit smaller, so I'm talking a little bit differently. My lips have a bit of a swagger to it, kind of like Sylvester Stallone. He was more like that. You know.
What's the best thing about not smoking?
The best thing about not smoking is just not having that chaos in your head all the time you're trying to run away from. Just seeing things clearly.
Has it been hard?
Yeah, sometimes gets hard. But overall, every day just gets better and better. Yeah, didn't prepare for this, but it's pretty good.
You going to do another year?
Yeah. Last time I didn't last more than a year. Gave up before the year. But I don't feel like I'm going to give up this time. I feel like this is just it. There's no reason to go back. Because every time you go back, it's kind of like you're avoiding something. And every time you avoid something, it just stays waiting for you. It just never goes away. It just waits. It's like, I don't know. So you just kind of have to learn to live with things and deal with them. And it's not just smoking weed either, or doing cocaine. It's not drugs. It can be like you feel down, and instead of actually processing what you're feeling, processing the reasons why you feel it, you decide to watch a movie or go out for drinks, or just go out or talk to someone about something else, or just distract yourself. Every time you distract yourself from wherever it is that bubbles up, it just waits for you. It's like that game, with the hammer and the mice that pop up in the arcade. What's it called? Whack and what?
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah, whack-a-mole. And you just whack the mole, and it goes away for like a split second, but then it just pops up somewhere else. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. The mole's still there until you become friends with the mole and invite it for dinner and sit with it, and then that way it just doesn't surprise you. You're familiar with it, so it doesn't overpower you. Am I making any sense? Yeah. So, yeah. It doesn't really seem like a good way to gauge how I'm feeling now compared to how I felt would be to watch that video that I made on the day that I quit, when I'm telling myself, don't ever, if you ever think for a split second, what would it feel like if I just smoked weed right now? Just stop thinking altogether and just don't do it. Because it's like the devil. It's like that scene in Ice Age where there's those creatures and they become your biggest fantasy, like the person you adore the most, or the loved one that you've lost, and they just become the thing that you want to see until you get really, really close to it, and then suddenly it just turns into a monster and it's just like attacks you. If that makes any sense at all. Yeah. So running away doesn't work. And the other thing that you realize is that you haven't actually come far in life. When you stop doing drugs, you realize you haven't come far in life because you started to run away at the point where it real character formation and growth was supposed to happen. You decided to just avoid it. So you kind of have to go back, swallow your ego a bit, and realize, I'm actually a bit of a baby in life. I haven't really learned much. And then start to learn, as a grown person. It's like realizing how much of I don't know. It's too long. This is way too long. Maybe we should wrap it up. Got any closing questions?
Any advice for anyone that was thinking about doing it?
Any advice for anyone who's thinking about quitting?
Yeah.
You need support. You can't hang around with the people who don't want to quit and think that you'll get any far with quitting. You need to get to know the people who are doing well without it. You need support. You need support, which is the one of the biggest things with becoming sober is, or admitting that you have a problem, but then asking for help. Because the whole point with being an addict is being able to just do everything by yourself, not needing anyone's help, just being really, really full of pride. But you just got to ask for help. Yeah. So my biggest advice is just ask for help and have a good support system around you to help you. And meditate. If I hadn't stopped, I started meditating the day I was sober. If I hadn't started doing that, the chaos would have continued in my head. There's just too many thoughts. You have to reel it back and just soothe the thoughts. Just declutter your mind. You need to have a way to declutter your mind. Whenever you do drugs, it's like adding more chaos to the party that already exists in your head. And that party will just get busier and bigger and busier until you don't even know where your thoughts start and the thousands of other people in your head begin. And you need to have a way to counteract that. You need something to reduce the thoughts. Otherwise it's just anarchy up there. And you think that, but you're not your thoughts. Your thoughts are just things you've collected. It's like you're not the mess in your room. The mess is just there because you haven't been cleaning for a really long time. But if you get into the habit of cleaning your room every day, it's just stay tidy. And it's the same with your mind. Just clean your room and clean your mind every day, and it will stay clean. All right, that's enough.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.